You guys love the Italian sub reviews, so let's make another one. Today we're checking out Genoa Importing in Latham, New York. And if the menu I saw online is accurate, this one's gonna be a tough one to figure out how to order. Let's not waste any time, let's get down there and let's see what this place is all about. Genoa Importing Company is a small Italian deli, a Loudonville landmark for home-cooked meals. In addition to takeaway items and imports, Genoa is most known for their specialty subs. With almost 50 creatively named combinations, I had no idea which to pick, but one sub surely stood out. When you go in the shop, it really is just set up for their sub operation. They have kind of a little bit of imports right in the middle of the store that kind of reminds me of my dad's deli, but it's kind of limited, and they have some other to-go stuff that they also do in salads and things like that. Giant soda case, very familiar in feel. I love how the exterior of the place kind of has this like facade of like something you would see in The Godfather, like a Genko oil, kind of that whole thing. I do have a story, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about the recent history of this place, but without any ado, you gotta see the bag these people gave me. Look at this. This was the largest bag that we used to have in my dad's store. And if we were to give this to a customer with just one sub, we would have gotten in so much trouble. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing here. Let's dig in to see what we got. No coffee soda today, but Orangina was one of those things back in the day that I used to absolutely love. So we got that. Got some of these kettle chips jalapeno, which I've never had this brand, so I'm looking forward to trying that. Some napkins, and I told the kid, I'm like, don't give me too many napkins. If I really need more napkins, I'll just use the bag. The sub. So getting into this unwrap, the name of the sub that I picked is actually something really interesting, really fun. But let's, man, these subs, it's almost like one gets bigger than the next. Although, let's get into this first. Holy. We're gonna do a bite and then I'll tell you what I got here. Making a mess. Damn. Whew. Knocked my hat off. This sandwich is called the Siena Fat Guy. Hot ham, pepper ham, hot sopressata, hot peppers, jalapeno cheese, lettuce, tomato, oil, and vinegar. So a little story about why I ordered that. I went to Siena and I'm a fat guy. So there you go, that's the entire motivation. Actually walking in, it was difficult for me to kind of narrow down the different sandwiches I was gonna have because they're all named something really creative. And the guy, like I walked in and the guy was like, what can we help you with? And like, I love service like that, except you need a minute to digest, especially when the sandwiches have names. Like there was something on there called a Four Horsemen, which has Cajun roast beef, Cajun turkey, horseradish cheddar, horseradish mayo, lettuce, tomato, which sounded really interesting. There's another sandwich on there called the Jerk. There's a whole list of sandwiches that they have there that are named after stuff. So I would just implore you, if you want to look into it, the rest of them are really fun. But they have an Italian mixed, they have something called a Terrible Todd, they have another one called the Danielle, which has prosciutto, and there's all different types of substitutions. There was one called Dangerous Dom, which my brother and my dad are Dom. So I thought that one would have been fun. And it was similar in a lot of ways, but it had jalapeno peppers instead of like the pepper cheese and the pepper spread. So I figured I would go with this sandwich here, the Siena Fat Guy, because guys, there's no getting around it. I'm a fat guy. Where this sandwich gets interesting is in the construction. So each layer is actually spicy. The first thing on top was that jalapeno cheese. Then running down, you have your pepper ham. Then you have your hot sopressata. Then your hot capicola, which is red pepper around, kind of a ham, pork shoulder kind of thing. And all that kind of adds up to this super spicy Italian hero. And then on top of that, you have the pepper spread. So you have kind of this hot on hot on hot on hot on hot. It just lights up your mouth. There's also a liberal amount of oil and vinegar dressing on this. They use a nice kind of crusty roll. I would say this roll though is vastly different than the type of roll that you would get at like Bella Napoli and what a lot of the Italian subs in the area are made on. This reminds me a lot more of the hero rolls that we used to get in my dad's store. Kind of softer, but still has a little bit of a crumb texture. If you're not familiar with a New York City style Italian hero, this similar bread is what's used on a traditional Philly cheesesteak. The bread is very much soft, but has like a little bit of a crust to it. It's not so hard that you can't bite through it. And that's kind of one of the things about the Bella Napoli crusty roll. You know you always got to go with the crusty. But their particular crusty roll is actually pretty big and it's hard to bite through, even though it tastes amazing. This here, like I said, it has kind of a crumble. If you were to really dig into it, you can leave holes with your finger. It only gives you a little bit of crumb. It's kind of hard to describe, but like I said, this is like a Philly cheesesteak roll or an Italian sub roll, kind of south of the capital region. I told you I had to go with my Orangina. Now this was rolling around in that huge bag, so I made sure I gave it sufficient time to equilibrate on the counter. You gotta always kind of do this because there's some pulp in there. So we're gonna open it and hopefully the Manhattan Special coffee soda incident doesn't happen again. So let's see. Ooh, that was scary. We're good. We are good. Now this Orangina, if you haven't had it before, it's very reminiscent of orange soda, but it's lighter, it's crisper. I haven't had that in about 20 years. It has kind of a bitterness to it that is probably because they're juicing whole oranges. This bottle is kind of interesting. It used to be served in a glass bottle that was kind of shaped like an orange. The bottle kind of has that texture. Pretty cool. Before I taste these chips, stick around to the end. I have more to say about the sub and a little bit more to go into as far as what happened on my visit to Genoa today. So going along with the spicy theme, I ended up with these Hal's New York kettle chips, jalapeno flavored. We didn't get enough spiciness with this sub with 17 components of different spiciness levels. Anyway, let's see how these taste. Looks normal enough. I mean, ooh, it kind of sneaks up on you. I was gonna say, it says hot, hot, hot. Focus up in the corner there, but it wasn't very hot. It takes a minute for it actually to catch up with you. Let's do something silly. All right, as if there weren't enough spicy components on this, let's see how it is with the jalapeno hot, hot, hot chips. If you haven't done potato chips on a sandwich yet, you're missing out. Whew. But it's so good. So while I was there, I was talking to the young guy who was ringing me up, and I told him I went to Siena College, 25 years ago, never stopped into Genoa despite literally being a mile away. And he mentioned that they changed ownership about 4 years ago, which is interesting because the branding definitely looks up to date. They definitely put a lot into the menu. Definitely seems more geared toward to-go foods and kind of more convenience type subs than actual imports. Although they did have the little section in the middle that has, I think, just enough imports to get you by. I did mention to the kid that I loved the names of the sandwiches because that's one of those things that you go somewhere and you kind of remember that. It sticks with you. He told me a lot went into that. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit it with a like and subscribe if you like food. I'm totally crazy. I'll go back and try a couple more creations from this place. Let's get this video up to 100 likes and we'll see what we could do. And last time we had an Italian sub, it was maybe slightly larger than this one here, the size of my forearm. Click right here to check that out.